Bennett a shout out, man. I got a Chester Bennett shout out for my birthday, which is probably the greatest gift I could have ever gotten. And for everyone who doesn't know, Chester is Cody's dad. We got Cody on the show. We couldn't get Chet on the show, so his son Cody is stepping up for the Bennett family, and as always, does an excellent job. So shout out to Cody. Appreciate the birthday wishes, everybody. We are here on the TD Report. This is the post-Super Bowl edition, and we're going to have some thank yous going out, plaudits going out. Everyone that saw the game last night, my opening thoughts. Jalen Hurts is an example for every kid that plays a sport. I don't care if it's girls basketball, Quidditch, Tiddlywinks, basketball, football. You can be considered a failure and be benched. You can come back, which is exactly what he did starting in college. This guy has done nothing but prove the naysayers wrong virtually at every step along the way. So congratulations to Jalen Hurts for being the Super Bowl MVP. More rushing yards. He led the whole team. He led both teams in rushing yards last night. Okay. MVP performance and threw some dimes. That's my opening thoughts on the Super Bowl. Congrats to the Eagles. I'm going to go to Cody Bennett on this. Cody, what did you think? You picked the Kansas City Chiefs, my man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really biased on it. I don't think I think he was efficient. Absolutely, the numbers show he was efficient, but I don't think he actually looked all that great, other than on his legs. His arm didn't look that great to me, but they played a hell of a game overall. Defense looked fantastic, chopping up there in the middle to stop Patrick Mahomes. I think that was really the testament to that game. Was really their defense. I think their offense just did enough to get down the field and score on a questionable Kansas City defense as it is. They've been scored on all year long. So, I mean, yeah, they got it done. I wasn't necessarily impressed, to be completely honest with you. I turned the game off after that, the first two drives in the second quarter. I had enough, man. After the first half, I said, if Kansas City don't come out here and score, which they didn't, and then I gave them another chance. I said, well, if they can stop Philly, which they didn't, Philly just threw a bomb down the field to Smith for a touchdown. And I said, at that point, I said, I'm not watching this shit no more. And cut it off.
That was pretty. That was a dime. Now, Cody, that was a dime. That was a dime and a great play on the ball. Great play on the ball. Kansas City doubles. They double A.J. Smith. Okay, I mean A.J. Brown, excuse me. They double him. And the play is the middle's wide open. You make that throw.
Ran past everyone. It was just throw it as far as you can and let them get under it, which is what happened. I mean, in a lot of passes, though, that game was severely underthrown by Hurts. Severely underthrown. One of them was intercepted because of it. He had a couple others that were almost intercepted. I mean, he was underthrowing a lot of passes. I don't think he had a very stellar game. I think he was very efficient. I think if you look at the numbers, he looked phenomenally efficient. And, hey, in the Super Bowl, to get a win, that's what you got to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking his game because that's exactly what you got to do. Efficiency is key, and you get a W, and that's what he did. I just don't think he looked all that pretty. I think their defense is what's done.
Just get her done, Cody. That's all.
Yeah, but I think it would have been a very, very competitive, or should I say, a more competitive game if someone else was there outside of Kansas City. I'm not sure how Kansas City snuck their way into that shit again, but whether it could be any of the other three teams that were there. I know obviously it could have only been one of the two, but regardless, I wouldn't see any of them outside of that game.
Okay. What we'll do is this tonight, just tonight on this show. I'm not going to speculate on who could have beaten the Super Bowl champ. I'm not going to do that tonight. I want to show respect to the Super Bowl champs. Okay. We'll do that. But I will say this tomorrow on text, I have some things to say about that, but I'm not going to say them tonight because I don't want Eagles fans chasing me around. Tony, TK, what did you think about last night? Jalen Hurts, anything you want to talk about? We've got the 30-minute, we've got the skinny show tonight. We're on a diet. We're going to do 30 minutes tonight, but I want to get Tony in before we hit the 5-minute mark.
Well, what I thought was going to happen, just when I picked Philly. I picked Philly because I think we were tied from KC, and then I went back and looked at the Super Bowls. KC was actually losing every Super Bowl in the fourth quarter that they played in, that they played in. And I said to myself, if they're losing every Super Bowl in the fourth quarter, but the other team got the best running back, that's not going to work out well. So I just put those two together because I don't like either team and just went with Philly on that logic. Because KC actually should have lost to San Fran the first time. They should have lost San Fran the second time. And they should have lost to Philly the first time because when Jalen Hurts got stripped and that changed the whole game, they were about to go down by 3 scores. So if we're looking at Kansas City, when you're going to look back on this, and everybody's going to talk about they won 3 Super Bowls, and it's great. But people are not going to talk. They're about 3 plays and 2 calls away from being 0-5 in this stretch.
Oh, it's not even that, TK. You look at their season. How many games they had in the season that came down to a final second play or a call that won them the game? Every single win that they had this year, I think other than maybe one, was within 3 points.
But, Cody, here's something that you got to look at if you're playing chess. What KC did last night, though, was give a blueprint on how to stop the Eagles' offense. Now, out of that game, what you're going to see is a whole lot of what they did to stop Saquon. I've never seen Saquon stop like that in my life on no level. I've seen him play on 2 levels, college and pro. That was probably one of his worst games, as in, how to stop. It's just that they other receivers and everybody made plays. And that's what you have to do. Philly fans, I'm not taking nothing away from you. You guys deserve to win the chip. You won it. Give you credit. But when you're looking at games and you're looking at stuff, you always got to look ahead. You always got to look and see, okay, well, who's coming back? Philly, I always said, what I said the management's work. Philly, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, all those management. Now, we're going to see after this little thing, Washington's management may go up in there. Depends on how they do things now. I've always said those other managements were great. And notice, everybody's management I said was good. Their team was in the playoff this year. Pittsburgh, Philly, Green Bay, all those guys make it. It's because, folks, I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm a true fan. But our team is never going to go any further until you get better management. When you have good management, good coaching, this is what happens. What you saw with Philly, what you saw with Washington, what you saw with Buffalo, what you see with KC. That's good management, good coaching. That's what's going to happen. And that's what we saw last night, guys. I mean, we just got to give those guys upstairs sometimes, we got to give them credit. They did hell of a jobs.
Thanks, TK. I think your management, your management example makes great sense. I think good football management spots trends sooner rather than later. Okay. And I always say this about, we've heard this about basketball Hall of Fame coach Dean Smith. When he saw a trend coming in college basketball, he might not have been the first to espouse something. He might not be the second, but what he did say is this: we're never going to be third in spotting a trend and stemming the tide. So you look at what Howie Roseman, who's the GM in Philadelphia, who, in my opinion, if he was not executive of the year, should have been. I didn't watch NFL Honors. I didn't see who won executive of the year this year. But
in that one.
Who was it?
So I think there was a couple snubs in those votes across the board.
Okay. Whoever it was, if it wasn't Howie Roseman, you got a trophy at home as executive of the year.
You got to give him
That's Howie Roseman's trophy. Okay. He has consistently, over the past 4 years, virtually won every trade. He has virtually picked every key rookie that he needed to pick, that needed to pan out. Jordan Davis, who we talked about on our show at Draft Day. Jalen Carter, who, by the way, the Chicago Bears do not have Jalen Carter. The Eagles immediately snapped him up. And I said to myself, because I'm an NFC East guy, I said, oh, my God, you're going to put Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter together on the same defensive line. These two guys are not just big. They're not just strong. And, Cody, you saw this. I've never seen a guy as big as Jalen Carter beat a wham block by jumping up in the air, spread eagle like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the blocker didn't see what he was blocking, just went right through. Guys, I've never seen a defensive guy do that, with the exception of maybe Aaron Donald. He was that as an interior. I'm talking about an interior guy. These aren't edge rushers. Myles Garrett. I've seen Myles Garrett do a 360-degree dunk. Okay, but guys that are tackles aren't supposed to be able to do that.
No.
Am I wrong? What do you think, Cody? What do you think about that?
Not at all. I mean, they're wildly versatile down there. But see, that's just how the position is going. I mean, I think a lot of these new guys coming in from the last couple drafts and the drafts coming up are like that. At least the top guys like them. You know, not everyone, but they're starting to be more and more versatile, faster. Just the agility is through the roof for somebody that big and strong. Is just insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everybody remembers, Refrigerator Perry, rest in peace. Everyone remembers the fridge. What a lot of people don't remember is his younger brother that played for the Browns, Michael Dean Perry. He was athletic and a big guy, not a fat guy. He was just big across the shoulders and the trunk, but he could 360-degree dunk. He could do things that you would expect a defensive end to do, but he had the physical weight to stay in the middle of a defensive line and not get pushed back. So, Cody, when you're grading this new age defensive linemen in terms of the metrics and how we grade them, these guys have to be able to hold their spot on the line to within what? Is it 2 yards of the line, or is it within a yard?
I mean, I'm not sure what the metric is. I'm sure just the closer the better. I'm not even when I look, I don't look for a metric. I'm not sure if they're looking for a specific yardage. It's just more or less that eye test of how strong their base is, how well they can stay down in there and fight, reach out and extend past the block, get past the block, through the block. I mean, there's a lot more tangibles, I think.
Yeah, it all depends. If their job is to make sure that they get 2 blocks so that the linebacker can make a play, and it all depends. But one thing is for sure is that these guys are more athletic now. They're going to push that pocket, so that means you can't be a statue back there anymore. So if you look in,
I think these coaches need to start moving the pocket. These coaches need to stop trying to build a steady pocket and putting it on these linemen to stay put with these guys that are that big, strong, and fast to break through there.
You know who the best team was that used to move the pocket? You remember, Dave?
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs. He was the best. He was the best guy to set and move the pocket. And that right there, if you can start moving that pocket, they tried it with Mahomes. They tried it, but they tried it too late.
Yep.
And because the whole first and second quarter, I kept saying Xavier Worthy, and the guys looking at me like, "Why you keep calling this guy's name?" I said, "Because he's the one who could change the game." And then later on in the game, they said, "Now I see why you were calling for him." I said, "Well, it was 2 quarters too late."
Yep.
Let's talk about that. What I was waiting for, at least by the second quarter, and especially after halftime, and I didn't get to see it. I said, we're not going to see the end around action to Worthy. We're not going to see maybe a reverse to Worthy, something to make that Philadelphia defense make a mistake or do something out of character or throw them a wrinkle. They never did that. They ran that against the Ravens. They ran that against the Chiefs. Against the Bills. That wrinkle should have been there. Something else I saw that I thought you guys might find interesting. When they did move Patrick Mahomes out of the pocket, and they moved him to the right, and he tried to throw back across the middle. When he did that, I said, this is getting picked. And out of nowhere comes a rookie from Iowa, Cooper DeJean, and he takes it the distance. And I thought that really hurt the Kansas City Chiefs. What did you think about that play, Cody? I like the kid. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right. It was his birthday. He deserved one. So it was his birthday. But
he's an Aquarius. We got to give the kids some love.
Yeah.
Dave, was that your birthday too?
Or no, the day after. He's the day after my birthday. I'm the 8th. Well, wait, yeah, he's the 8th. I'm the 8th. He's the 9th.
So it was Saquon's birthday too.
It was Saquon's birthday.
Or better yet, his name is Shay Sean. You know, people in DC
Hey.
call him Shay Sean. Who's that
Hey.
Shay Sean Barkley?
Saquon Barkley.
I got a really good laugh from a lot of Washington fans that were in attendance at the sports bar where I watched it. Your boy Jahan Dotson almost messed around and got a Super Bowl touchdown, Cody. He couldn't keep that knee off the ground. He almost got it.
It hurts me to know he has a ring right now.
Hey, look, I'm happy for the kid. He took a lot of crap on that trade.
At one point right now, I'm not.
Pickett got a ring.
I won't be happy. I won't be happy for them until Washington hits training camp.
So
Okay. And so the countdown begins to training camp in DC.
So as we go right now, and I'm going to be straight with y'all. It is Washington and Detroit's Super Bowl to lose. I say that is because when you win the Super Bowl, you get all kinds of stuff that's coming at you. Reason why I say it's Washington and Detroit is because Detroit didn't have their best player this year. And when they get him back, when they get Aiden Hutchinson back with all that they built,
And
the only thing was wrong with them was their defense. If Detroit's defense come back and play halfway decent, there's nobody that's going to beat them because their offense is so damn explosive.
Washington can beat them. Washington can beat Jared Goff.
Washington did beat them, but Washington beat them with 17 dudes out. If their best dude is back,
I mean, they've been beat. Jared Goff is the weakness for that team.
he is the weakness, but they do a good job of covering up for Jared Goff, especially with that running game. And now when you get their best, see, I can't look at you when you take away your best player on your team. Your best player on your team, when you lose him, it's hard. I don't care who you are. Who's the best player on Philly? It's Shay Sean. The best player on KC is Mahomes. You can't take those two away. Those teams won't be there.
Right.
I mean, best player on Washington is JD. You can't take him away. You take him away.
I will say that they're going to be very, very competitive next year because, man, that to have a team that they got right now with the third most cap space in the league, going in with a general manager who is hungry to win and wants to make moves, with some of the players that are on the market, man.
But Cody, what I
NFC
always say,
very, very interesting.
it's about chemistry, and sometimes you can put a lot of good guys together.
I'm not saying build a team.
The chemistry is the thing. But then again, that's what the GM is. If their GM does what Philly's GM does, then Washington could be here, and then we could be talking about the all DMV Super Bowl in the worst place ever to play it in San Francisco. Because if it's DMV Super Bowl and you got to go all the way to San Francisco,
Man, what? Ain't nobody traveling well.
We'll be there. We'll be there. I'll be there. I'll stay in my kid's dorm. I'll stay in my kid's dorm if I have to. That would actually, I actually have a place to sleep. I mean, well, now that I think about it, my son will be a junior at the University of San Francisco next year, and I'm going to have to be me and his mom are going to have to be paying for an apartment out there. So as far as I'm concerned, he's sleeping on a couch. I'm sleeping in the bed that I paid for.
You got to
I got to play.
Dave already done called dibs 365 days, 4 days away.
It doesn't matter which team. It doesn't matter which team plays. I'm going to travel well. So, and my uncle lives out there anyway. So I'm good to go. Let's talk about this on the show, guys. You talked about looking forward for the Washington Commanders. FanDuel has put out 2026 Super Bowl odds. Now, remember, this is before the draft and this is before free agency. Okay, so these numbers could change. But let's look at what it looks like right now, and you can possibly make your bet. Eagles and Chiefs on a $100 bet are plus 650 to get to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Eagles are plus 600. The Chiefs and the Ravens are plus 650. Bills plus 750. Lions plus 1,000. 49ers plus 1,500. Bengals plus 1,800. Packers plus 2,000. Commanders plus 2,400. So let's talk about that. $100 bet. You get $2,400 if you take the Commanders to win the Super Bowl.
To win or to get to?
To win.
10 $240.
Right. I take that right now.
I'm taking that bet all day long. But see, I'm gonna do the conference championship bets. I want to do the bet to make it to the Super Bowl.
So that's going to be. So you would have to pick Washington, and who would you take in the AFC? You take the Ravens.
Yep. And
okay.
Yeah.
What's okay? What would you want them at? Would you want it like plus 1,000? Plus 1,500? What would make you say it's a good value bet, Cody?
Probably plus 2,000. Anywhere between 15
plus 2,000? Okay.
Between 15 and 2,000.
I might put 100 on. I would consider putting 100 on that. I would put 100 on. I would put 100 on Washington, Buffalo.
I'm also putting $100 on Jaden Daniels MVP.
Let me look up those odds. We can talk about that on Thursday's show. I think that would be a good. I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a good value bet.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's a good value bet. I mean, it's not necessarily safe. It's definitely a risk, but it's. I think you get some good value on that one.
I mean,
Tony, you taking notes? You taking notes, buddy?
I'm just calling it right now. I think Jaden Daniels is the best player in the NFL.
What scares me though is with those AP votes, man, is like, for example, Jaden Daniels for MVP had like 3 votes or something like that this year. Like,
don't worry, kid, that's going to change.
Coach of the year, Dan Quinn had 1 Coach of the Year vote. He took a 4-win team to 12 wins into the playoffs on a run and got 1 Coach of the Year vote.
Yep.
So y'all won 14 games this season.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it was plus 10, and he only got 4 votes?
1 vote.
He got 1 stinking vote. I thought he was the coach. Cody, maybe it's because I live here, and I saw this team last year. I saw this team.
That's what I'm saying, man. You can't look at last year's team and this year's team and tell me that man is deserving of 1 freaking vote. That's great.
Did anyone see the second Dallas game last year here? That was an embarrassment for Washington.
Yeah.
And most of those guys are the same players. It's mostly the same guys. And Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and, Cliff Kingsbury, your coach, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, took all of that, a few free agents. They brought a couple of guys from Dallas that, quote unquote, weren't beasting out. And look, was that Dorrance Armstrong? Dorrance Armstrong? He looked great this year for you guys.
Dante Fowler.
They were all good.
I always thought Fowler was a good player, even when he was in Jacksonville.
The lineman was good.
Yeah, I thought he was a good player even in Jacksonville. I didn't understand why he didn't get more love. I think he's a good player.
Hey, Dave, so the ad beater came out as well with the ranking of the commercials.
Let's go.
I don't know if we'll have a problem, but I can screen share and show us the top 5.
Go for it. You want to narrate since you got control. Go ahead and take control.
I was just gonna play them, man, just so we can show people what the top 5 ranked commercials.
Let's do it. Yeah, give us the top 5.
All right, give me a second here. Let's screen share. Ad meter. That's it. All right, you guys can see what I'm looking at?
Yep.
All right, cool. So these are the rankings here from USA Today. They created this, I think, in 2011 or something, to everyone votes on the best commercials. And so this was the first one as far as the best rating.
Budweiser.
The Budweiser commercial. Oh.
Still too little, buddy. A horse walks into a barn and
then what?
So that was.
I need a beer. I need a beer. That was a good commercial. I like that.
It was. They had a. I don't remember all of them here. I don't remember this one. This was their.
I didn't see any of them.
Yeah, this was the number 2 ranked one.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, I wanted you to be my sweet bee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, I wanted you to shade me, be my leaf. If you were a river in the mountains tall, the roll of the water would be. If you were the winter, I know I'd be the snow, just as long as you were with me when the cold winds blow. If you were a wink, I'd be a nod. If you were a sea, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd want to be a rug. And if you were a kiss, I know I'd be a hug.
That was cute.
I like potato chips.
Yeah,
I'd say
that
they're
was
doing
cute.
good.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was the second best.
Oh, I know which one you thought was second best. It's this one here.
My favorite was that the Flag 50 commercial.
I like the Nike commercial,
This
the
is number
ladies.
3.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. That was number 5 and number 6. And number 6, I think, was my favorite. The Flag 50, the flag football.
That was an amazing
That was
move
a
that
good
you
one.
pulled. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're only 30 seconds.
We'll do 2 Michelob Ultras.
Excuse me. Would you consider
It ain't playing. Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
Oh.
All right, we had some technical difficulties on that one. That was the pickleball. That was the pickleball commercial.
Some lag.
Let me see. What's that? Catherine O'Hara and Willem Dafoe, right?
playing us?
Catch up.
Yeah, they're psychos. That was awesome. I mean, people take that pickleball real serious, Cody.
Hey, RX Sports, we're trying to get in pickleball too.
All right, you get a commercial.
We're trying to get with pickleball people. We've been giving it out to pickleball people. So,
Okay.
because they get hurt. Pickleball
Yeah,
people,
they get hurt.
go hard.
Yeah, they get hurt. They're old.
Hey.
So we're going to jump off in a couple of minutes. Before we go, we want to talk about some scheduling. We'll be back on Thursday, guys, and then we're going to start going once a week after that, until, free agency ramps up, draft starts getting close. We're going to be planning our draft show, and we'll let you know in the next couple of weeks how we're going to do it. But, guys, there's a chance on the draft show I might be in San Francisco on that, but I'll be able to do it. So, maybe I could try to get the Golden Gate Bridge in the background or something. We'll work that out. But really appreciate you guys. We had a great season this year. We weren't on as much as we wanted to be this year, but we will be back and better than ever. And basically starting with free agency and the draft. Just wanted to give the fans out there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Give Cody something to do, as far as let's get the metrics up, guys.
Congrats to the Eagles, man.
That was a great season for the Eagles. I have no complaints for them. Good luck to them going forward. And hey, they're the hunted now. Everyone wants a piece of the Eagles. So,
hey, it gets like that when you win the championship, right?